The turning point. The emergency sirens blared through Delta Station as Captain Maya Chen raced toward the command center. Her boots echoed against the metal flooring, matching the rapid beating of her heart. 3 years of relentless war against the Krell Dominion had pushed humanity to the brink of extinction. Delta Station, once a proud research facility at the edge of human space, now served as one of the last defensive outposts. Status report, Chen demanded as she burst onto the bridge, her dark eyes scanning the tactical displays. Lieutenant Elias Rodriguez, her second in command, looked up with exhaustion etched across his face. "It's not good, Captain. Long-range scanners show a Krell battle group approaching. At least 6 Dreadnought-class vessels and multiple support ships." Chen felt her stomach drop. Delta Station's defenses couldn't withstand such a force. "How long until they reach us?" 8 hours at current speed," Rodriguez replied. The command center fell silent. Everyone knew what this meant. The Krell Dominion, a collective of 3 insectoid species that had emerged from the galactic core 2 decades ago, had systematically conquered or destroyed every civilization they encountered. Humans had put up a better fight than most, but their resources were depleted, their fleets decimated. "Send the evacuation order," Chen said quietly. "Priority goes to civilians and essential personnel. Then contact Earth Command and inform them of our situation." "And what about us, Captain?" asked Ensign Patel, the youngest officer on the bridge. Chen managed a grim smile. "We hold the line as long as we can." As the evacuation procedures began, Chen retreated to her office, allowing herself a moment of private despair. The holographic display on her desk showed the current state of human territory, once spanning dozens of star systems, now reduced to Earth, Mars, and a handful of fortified colonies. Delta Station was the last outpost protecting the Arcturus jump point, a critical hyperspace node leading directly to the Sol system. If it fell, Earth would be exposed. Chen activated her personal log. "Captain's log, Maya Chen, Delta Station. This will likely be my final entry. The Krell have found us, and we lack the resources to mount an effective defense. I've ordered evacuations, but I harbor no illusions about our chances. Most of our ships won't escape the Krell interceptors." She paused, gathering her composure. "I want the record to show that the men and women under my command have performed their duties with exceptional courage and—" A deafening alarm cut her off. Chen bolted from her chair and rushed back to the command center. "What's happening?" she demanded. Rodriguez was staring at the main display in disbelief. "Captain, we're detecting massive energy signatures. But they're not Krell." "Explain." "Multiple vessels just emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the system. They're huge, Dreadnought class or larger, but they're not matching any known Krell configurations." Chen's pulse quickened. "Are they human?" "I don't think so, Captain. The design architecture is unlike anything in our database, but they're transmitting on human military frequencies." Before Chen could respond, the main screen flickered and displayed an incoming transmission. A woman in an unfamiliar military uniform appeared. Her weathered face carried the unmistakable signs of someone who had seen too much combat. "This is Admiral Sophia Reyes of the Sol Defense Fleet. Do you read me, Delta Station?" Chen stepped forward. "This is Captain Maya Chen of Delta Station. We read you, Admiral, but I must confess I'm not familiar with the Sol Defense Fleet." The Admiral's expression remained impassive. "That's because until today, we didn't exist, at least not officially. Captain, prepare your station to receive our forces. We've come to make a stand." "Admiral, with all due respect, the Krell battle group heading our way includes at least 6 dreadnoughts. I've ordered evacuations. Countermand those orders, Captain. The evacuation ships would never outrun the Krell anyway." Admiral Reyes' voice hardened. "We've been monitoring the situation. For too long, humanity has been on the defensive, losing ground system by system. That ends today." As if on cue, the tactical display updated, showing the new fleet taking formation around Delta Station. Chen counted 12 massive vessels, each dwarfing the largest human battleships she had ever seen. "What are those ships?" she whispered. "We call them Titans," Rise answered. "Deep space dreadnoughts built in secret over the last decade. A contingency plan that many thought was a waste of resources, until now." Over the next 6 hours, Delta Station transformed from an evacuation zone to a fortified command center. Admiral Rise arrived with her staff, bringing with them advanced tactical systems and combat specialists. "The Krell believe they have us cornered," Rise explained as she and Chen reviewed the battle plans. "They expect us to flee or surrender. Instead, we're going to hit them with everything we've got." Chen studied the schematics of the Titans. Each vessel was a marvel of engineering, equipped with gravitational lance weapons capable of tearing through Krell shields, automated drone swarms for point defense, and armor made from an alloy she didn't recognize. "How did you build these without anyone knowing?" Chen asked. Raya's eyes met hers. Not everyone was in the dark. This project began after our first contact with the Krell, when a few forward-thinking admirals realized what we were up against. We've been constructing the Titans in the shadow of Neptune, using resources from the outer system mining operations. Every sacrifice, every retreat, every lost colony bought us time to complete them. Chen felt a mixture of hope and anger. So many lives could have been saved if these had been deployed sooner. Or wasted if we deployed them before they were ready, Rise countered. The Krell adapt quickly. We needed overwhelming force, not a temporary advantage. The tactical alert sounded. The Krell battle group had arrived. From the command center, Chen watched as the Titans moved into formation. Unlike the sleek, aesthetically pleasing designs of conventional human warships, the Titans were brutally functional, massive geometric shapes bristling with weapon emplacements and sensor arrays. "All stations report combat readiness," Rodriguez announced. Admiral Rice stood at the central command console, her posture rigid. "Open a channel to all ships." When the channel was open, she spoke with calm authority. "This is Admiral Rice. For 3 years, we have watched as the Krell Dominion has torn through our defenses, taken our worlds, and slaughtered our people. Today, that changes. Today, humanity stops retreating." She paused. "Execute Operation Thunderbolt." The Titans surged forward with surprising speed for vessels of their size. The Krell fleet, clearly not expecting such aggression, began to adjust their formation. "They're launching fighter swarms," Rodriguez reported. "As expected," Rice replied. "Release our drones." From the Titans erupted thousands of autonomous combat drones, creating a metallic cloud that intercepted the Krell fighters. On the tactical display, Chen watched as the two swarms collided in a dazzling exchange of energy weapons. Then the Titans opened fire. The gravitational lances created visible distortions in space as they struck the first Krell dreadnought. Its shields fluctuated and collapsed under the concentrated barrage, and the massive vessel broke apart. For the first time in years, Chen felt something she had almost forgotten: hope. The battle raged for hours. The Krell, recovering from their initial surprise, fought with their characteristic ferocity. 2 of the Titans suffered severe damage, and Delta Station's outer defensive ring was breached. But the momentum had shifted. "The Krell flagship is attempting to retreat," Rodriguez announced, his voice filled with disbelief. Admiral Reyes' expression hardened. "Not this time. Target their propulsion systems." The remaining Titans concentrated their fire on the Krell flagship, a massive structure that resembled a colossal insect with technological appendages. Its engines flared as it attempted to reach the jump point, but the gravitational lances disrupted its drive field. The vessel lurched, then drifted helplessly in space. "They're sending out a distress signal," Rodriguez reported. "Good," Rice said. "Let them call for help. Let the entire Dominion know that humanity is no longer prey." As the last Krell vessel was neutralized, cheers erupted throughout Delta Station. Chen found herself embracing Rodriguez, tears streaming down her face. For the first time since the war began, they had achieved a decisive victory. Later, as the cleanup operations commenced, Chen joined Admiral Rice in observing the captured Krell flagship. "What happens now?" Chen asked. Rice turned to her, determination burning in her eyes. "Now we take the fight to them. The Titans are just the beginning. There are more in production, and with the data we've gathered from this battle, we'll make them even more effective." "The Krell will adapt," Chen warned. "So will we," Rice replied. "Humanity has always been at its best with its back against the wall. We were losing this war because we were playing by their rules, fighting conventionally against an enemy that outnumbered us. But now," she gestured toward the Titans, "now we're changing the game." As Chen looked out at the massive dreadnoughts that had turned the tide of war, she realized that humanity's salvation had come not from alien intervention or miraculous technology, but from human ingenuity, determination, and the refusal to accept extinction. For the first time in years, Maya Chen allowed herself to believe that humanity might survive after all. The final stand. The victory at Delta Station sent shockwaves through both human space and the Krell Dominion. After 3 years of relentless retreat, humanity had scored its first major victory. Captain Maya Chen, now promoted to Commodore, found herself at the center of a rapidly evolving conflict. 6 weeks after the battle, Chen stood on the observation deck of the Titan-class Dreadnought Defiance, watching as the massive vessel moved into formation with the rest of the fleet. The reinforced Delta Station loomed in the background, now a hub of military activity rather than a desperate last stand. Admiral Rice approached, her footsteps echoing on the metal floor. "Impressive, isn't it?" she asked, gesturing toward the gathering armada. "Very," Chen replied. "Though I never thought I'd see Talaxian and Meridian vessels fighting alongside ours." The diplomatic repercussions of the Delta Station victory had been as significant as the military ones. The Talaxians and Meridians, technologically advanced species that had remained neutral throughout the Krell-human war, had finally chosen sides. Their sleek, organic-looking vessels now integrated with the human fleet. "Nothing unites like a common enemy," Ray said. "And nothing attracts allies like the prospect of victory." Her expression grew serious. "We've received the latest intelligence from our deep space reconnaissance. The Krell are mobilizing on an unprecedented scale. Their entire home fleet is moving toward the Arcturus sector." Chen felt a chill. "They're coming for us." "Yes," Rice confirmed, "but this time, we'll be ready." Over the following days, the Allied fleet conducted combat drills and tactical simulations. The integration of Talaxian phase shift technology with the Titan's gravitational lances created weapons of devastating effectiveness. Meridian sensor systems, far more advanced than human equivalents, gave the fleet unprecedented battlefield awareness. Chen divided her time between commanding her own vessel, the Titan-class Resolute, and strategic planning sessions with Admiral Rice and the Allied commanders. The plan they developed was audacious, perhaps even reckless, but it offered the best chance of ending the Krell threat permanently. "The Krell operate as a hive mind in combat," explained Krall, the Talaxian fleet commander, during one briefing. His translucent skin shifted colors as he spoke, reflecting his emotions. "Their entire tactical advantage comes from instantaneous communication between vessels, which is why we've never been able to disrupt their coordination," Chen added. Rice nodded. "Until now." She activated a holographic display showing a complex energy signature. "Meridian scientists have identified the quantum frequency their command ships use to coordinate their fleets. With the right countermeasure, we can disrupt it, but only at close range." "How close?" asked Chen. Ray's expression was grim. "Point-blank range to their command vessel." The implication was clear. This would be a suicide mission for whoever delivered the countermeasure device. 2 days later, long-range sensors detected the Krell armada entering the system. Over 300 vessels, including 20 dreadnoughts, the largest concentration of Krell forces ever recorded. They're not taking any chances this time, Chen observed from the Resolute's command center. Neither are we, Rise responded over the comm. All vessels, battle stations. Execute Operation Sundering. The Allied fleet moved into a defensive formation around Delta Station, creating concentric layers of firepower. The Titans formed the outer perimeter, their massive hulls deliberately exposed to draw the Krell's attention. Behind them, the more agile Talaxian and Meridian vessels waited, cloaked by their advanced stealth systems. The Krell approached in their characteristic swarming pattern, seemingly undeterred by their previous defeat. Their foremost vessels opened fire at extreme range, testing the Allies' defenses. Hold position, Reyes ordered. Let them come to us. Chen watched the tactical display with growing tension as the Krell fleet drew closer. The plan required precise timing. If they showed their hand too early, the Krell would adapt. Too late, and they would be overwhelmed. Enemy fleet approaching optimal engagement range, reported Lieutenant Rodriguez, who had followed Chen to the Resolute. Chen nodded. Launch countermeasure delivery vehicle. From the hangar bay of the Resolute, a small, heavily modified shuttle emerged. Piloted by a volunteer crew, it carried the quantum disruptor that was the linchpin of their strategy. The shuttle activated its stealth systems and moved toward the approaching Krell Armada. The delivery vehicle is away, Chen confirmed to Admiral Reyes. Moving to Phase 2. Acknowledged, Reyes replied. All vessels, prepare to execute synchronized attack pattern upon my mark. The Krell continued their advance, apparently unaware of the shuttle cutting through their formation. Chen watched the tactical display, her heart pounding as the small vessel approached the massive Krell command ship, a colossal structure nearly twice the size of a Titan. Delivery vehicle reports they've reached optimal position, Rodriguez announced. Reyes' voice came over the comm. All vessels, execute attack pattern Nova. Now, the battlefield erupted into chaos. The Titans unleashed their gravitational lances, targeting the outer layer of the Krell formation. Simultaneously, the previously hidden Talaxian and Meridian vessels decloaked and attacked from multiple vectors, breaking the Krell's carefully arranged formations. Caught by surprise, the Krell vessels began to adapt, shifting to a defensive posture, exactly as planned. Delivery vehicle status, Chen demanded. They've reached the command ship's perimeter, Rodriguez replied. Activating quantum disruptor in 3, 2, 1. A brilliant pulse of energy emanated from the small shuttle, engulfing the Krell command vessel. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then the unthinkable occurred. The coordinated movements of the Krell fleet faltered. Vessels began moving independently, some colliding with each other, others firing at random targets. It's working, Rodriguez exclaimed. All ships pressed the advantage. Reyes ordered. Target their disoriented vessels. The Allied fleet surged forward, weapons blazing. The Titans concentrated their fire on the largest Krell vessels, while the more agile Allied ships engaged the smaller craft. Without their hive mind coordination, the technologically superior Krell were suddenly vulnerable. On the Resolute's command deck, Chen watched as the delivery shuttle, its mission complete, attempted to withdraw from the Krell command ship. But it was too late. The massive vessel, though disoriented, detected the threat and opened fire. The shuttle disappeared in a flash of light. They knew it was a one-way trip, Chen said softly, honoring their sacrifice. The battle raged for hours. Despite their disrupted coordination, the Krell fought with desperate ferocity. 3 Titans were lost, along with dozens of smaller Allied vessels. But gradually, inexorably, the tide turned. The Krell command vessel is attempting to retreat, Rodriguez reported. Chen exchanged glances with Admiral Reyes on the video link. They both understood what was at stake. If the command vessel escaped, the Krell would adapt to their countermeasure. Intercept course, Chen ordered. All power to engines. The Resolute broke formation, accelerating toward the massive Krell vessel. Other Titans followed suit, forming a blocking pattern. Weapons range in 30 seconds. Rodriguez announced. All batteries, prepare to fire. Chen commanded. Concentrate on their propulsion systems. The Resolute shuddered as it unleashed its full arsenal at the fleeing Krell command ship. The other Titans joined in, creating a devastating crossfire. Under the concentrated barrage, the Krell vessel's defenses collapse section by section. Their engines are failing, Rodriguez reported. They're adrift. Boarding teams, prepare for deployment, Chen ordered. We need their navigation data. As the boarding operation commenced, the remainder of the Krell fleet began a disorganized retreat. Without their command structure, they reverted to basic survival protocols. Hours later, with the battle concluded and recovery operations underway, Chen joined Admiral Rice on the captured Krell command vessel. Surrounded by the alien architecture, they reviewed the data retrieved from the Krell systems. This is it, Rice said, her voice filled with grim satisfaction. Coordinates for every Krell staging area, colony, and production facility. The location of their homeworld. Chen studied the star charts. They came from much farther than we thought, beyond the galactic barrier. And now we have the means to end this war, Rice declared. Not just push them back, but eliminate the threat permanently. Chen frowned. Eliminate? You mean? I mean whatever is necessary, Rice said firmly. They've shown no mercy, offered no quarter, attempted no communication. They've slaughtered billions across a dozen species. Sometimes survival requires difficult choices. As they debated the ethical implications of their next moves, a message arrived from Earth Command. The Talaxian and Meridian governments had formally proposed the creation of an interstellar defense coalition, with humanity as a founding member. It seems we've gained more than just a military victory, Chen observed. Rice nodded. Humanity has earned its place among the stars, not through conquest or technological superiority, but through perseverance. We faced extinction and refused to accept it. In the days that followed, the Allied fleet regrouped and began planning the next phase of the campaign. The war was far from over, but for the first time, victory seemed possible, even inevitable. Standing on the observation deck of the Resolute, watching the stars, Chen reflected on how quickly everything had changed. 6 weeks ago, humanity had been on the brink of extinction. Now they were leading an alliance that would take the fight to the Krell homeworld. The massive titans that had turned the tide now symbolize not just humanity's refusal to surrender, but their emergence as a galactic power. Not through conquest or technological superiority, but through sheer determination and the will to survive. As the fleet prepared for its next mission, Commodore Maya Chen knew that whatever the future held, humanity had proven its worth among the stars. The dreadnoughts that had saved them were more than just weapons. They were a testament to the human spirit, unyielding even in the face of annihilation. The final stand had become a new beginning.